I'll introduce myself. I'm Christina Morales. I am a hospital liaison with Northridge Hospital, and this is Pilar.
I'm Pilar Grant, and I'm a parent coach here with Welcome Baby with Northridge Hospital.
And my name is Annabelle, and I am a mommy and a beneficiary of the program Welcome Baby.
You want to tell us about your experience?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Toby and I'm thinking, gosh, we've come a long way. Delivered him March 9th, of course, 2016. And I wasn't sure what would happen after we got home from the hospital, considering I did suffer postpartum OCD and anxiety after my firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
And then Christina came into my room one day and explained that there was this program called Welcome Baby and that they would send someone to the house to check on me and baby and just make sure we're doing okay emotionally and the baby's doing well developmentally. And I jumped on it. I said, I'll participate if
You were ready.
I was ready.
You had your plan. You had done your research from the first time, and you said, this time I need a plan. But you think about what you're saying, you were already kind of, I don't feel like it's going to be the same this time.
So ever since the hospital, I don't know if it was a switch that I decided to turn myself or if it was truly that, since Toby was born, I just felt different. And I think one of the things that had to do with that was that this hospital leaves you with your baby from the minute the baby is born. Okay, so at the previous hospital I had delivered Benny.
Mm-hmm.
Have you met Benny, Pilar?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you met Benny.
Yeah.
They took him away to the nursery, and there was a lot of time that they wanted for me to heal and do better before they even let me carry him. So it even took a while. It even took a while to get Benny to latch on, but he was with me from the first minute, and I just thought, things have to be better this time around, and this is just a blessing, and everything's so life is just such a great miracle, and I was able to, give life to another miracle, so let's hopefully feel better this time. I was just kind of telling myself that, and sure enough, I mean, the first visit was Maria.
Yes, the nurse.
The nurse, she
Yes.
came over, and it was just so nice to have her there because it was just soon after I had gotten home, and she weighed the baby, and she gave me some tips. I was struggling a little bit with breastfeeding. I wasn't sure if it was going to be something I was truly going to stick to. And she was just basically confirming. She's like, "Look, you've got milk."
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't think he's eating enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, and I understand it's a concern of many moms.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes.
sometimes you just need that assurance from someone who knows to just say, you're fine. You keep going,
Mm-hmm.
So that, just to start with, that was great.
Did she do a pre-weight and a post-weight?
She did.
Oh.
She did. So
Did
that was
that
really
help?
good. It did help
Mhm.
because that's why, I saw it with my own two eyes. Okay, he gained a little tiny bit of weight, which means he did get milk. So he's got
Oh.
extra weight in his body now. And that was really nice.
It was helpful for you to see that the milk was actually transferring to the baby. Right?
And I've learned a lot that, and a lot of friends that I talk to these days that tell me that they didn't breastfeed, the most common thing I've heard is I didn't have enough milk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand that feeling because that's what I was feeling too. But again, Maria said, look, if you don't mind, and she expressed, my breast and said, look, there's milk there. And that was like the first day that my milk actually came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, good, okay, we can do this.
Because did you breastfeed with Benny?
No, I did not. I did not. I felt that it wasn't as encouraged as I felt that here.
Mm-hmm.
The issue with the baby losing weight after birth and having to supplement was very much reinforced, which is fine. I understand that.
Right.
That's important too. But by the time that the baby would come around to see mom, back then,
Mm-hmm.
he was already used to the nipple from the bottle in the first few
Right.
days of life, and it was just really hard. Whereas this one, is everything okay?
He's like, all this talk of breastfeeding.
I know, it makes me hungry. So, I guess back to the breastfeeding. You were saying that you did not breastfeed before. Do you feel like Welcome Baby assisted you in any way and, you know, helping you to realize that, yes, I can do this. I can continue with the breastfeeding.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
when Maria came and
Absolutely. When Maria came, that was just like my little push that I needed to just keep trying it the second time.
mm-hmm.
Again, I didn't feel like he was eating enough, and it was really an ongoing battle at home with my husband because he said, "Why are you putting yourself through this?" Because I really wanted to breastfeed, you know, and offer this benefit to this baby. He said, "Why are you putting yourself through this, and why are you putting the baby through this? He's hungry. He's obviously not getting enough. That's why he's crying. He's fussy." And then when Maria came, you know, she just kind of said, "Look, we're going to weigh him before. You're going to breastfeed him, and we're going to see if he's eating. And so, sure enough, she showed me some ways of making, because I wasn't sure. I had my positioning wrong, and I couldn't just figure out a comfortable way for him. And she brought me a nice pillow, the boppy, and I sat down with him, and she said, "Look, you've got milk. Your milk's come in, and you know, just relax. Remember, you have to be relaxed." And oh gosh, that was so nice to have her there, you know, because even sometimes when people that want to support you, like my mom who was there at the time, even she was kind of like, maybe he's just really not getting enough. And I didn't have my mom's like, you can do this. She's obviously looking out for this innocent child, and she feels like there's formula available, which is, again, I have no problems with formula. My first one was formula fed, and he's doing great. But it just really helped to have her there. And you know, and that's why, and then having Pilar come over to the house and just sitting down and having these talks about, you know, the importance of breast milk, and it's just been a great experience.
And the chart comparison, I know you said you really like the chart.
The chart comparison, you know, seeing that formula sure has benefits. I mean, there's a reason, like Pilar explained, there's a reason why it's so expensive. I mean, this stuff is good stuff. I mean, they do a lot of research, they do a lot of studies, but really when it comes down to it, I mean, they can't really equate the benefit that mother's milk will give a child. So I think that's great, you know. And I just think that, you know, for moms, that every pregnancy and every birth experience is different. So when you give birth once and everything's great, you never know. The second time may not be as good, or vice versa. And in my experience, I was ready for the worst. I was ready to go through pretty much, you know, a dark time in my life again with this baby, because that's what I experienced with my first baby. But just in my mind, knowing that someone's going to come over to the house and check on you and just make sure you're okay, just knowing that, and that these people are trained to talk to you in case you're going through something emotional, that even gives you peace of mind, you know. So I was like, that's a good thing.
Do you feel comfortable sharing a little bit about your first?
Oh, sure, yeah, of course.
Postpartum experience.
Absolutely. I had Benny back in December of 2012, and I went to a routine follow-up with my OBGYN. And at that point, the OBGYN claimed that Benny's heart rate had dropped and that we needed to do an emergency C-section. Now, I still to this day feel like, you know, there could have been a little more time, or maybe I could have been induced into having, but, you know, you have a birth plan and you want things a certain way. I wanted to see my child being born and have him in my arms and try to breastfeed him immediately, and nothing like that happened. And I just felt everything just spiraled downhill for me, even at the hospital, emotionally, feeling like, gosh, things aren't going the way that I think they should have gone. And so by the time I got home, oh my God, it was just, I was experiencing the type of OCD where you believe you're capable of doing something bad to your child, and so you don't even want them near you, you know. And that was the thing. My concern was, I felt like in my mind I would close my eyes and I would see me dropping him, so I didn't want to carry him, which was fine because I had my husband there. But my husband spent a lot of time with him instead of me latching him on and making sure my milk supply would work. And so it was a very difficult time.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Would you recommend this program to other moms? So what if you,
Oh,
if you were talking
absolutely.
to a mom and she was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about having people come visit me, or I don't know how I feel about this program. What would you say to them?
I would say, you know, I would really encourage her to accept. I mean, it's almost like an invitation to make you feel better and to make things better for you.
Mm-hmm.
How could you not accept that? You know, I would really encourage her and remind her that, at least in my experience, every time I had someone come over from the program, even beginning with your visit in my hospital room, you ladies are just very peaceful, and all you want is, you know, for moms to feel better. As a matter of fact, I was sharing with Pilar that in my 20s I used to be a TV news reporter. Now that I'm in my 30s, I have a government job and it's very stable. But in my 40s, I want to do something where I can give back and help other women. I say in part that due in part to seeing this program and how you guys just literally spend your day making sure that moms are doing well, and I think that's such a great thing, and I absolutely encourage this program. Sometimes we don't want to accept what's going on with us with the hormonal changes after giving birth, okay? And I can attest to that because in the early days of my postpartum anxiety experience, I kept it a secret. And I can probably even, I thought this is crazy, I'm losing it, but I just need sleep. And then the next day it would just be as bad. And I can see why some women want to keep this bottled in to not make other people afraid or think that they're, you know, they're weird or they're scary or they're not fit to be moms. But that's why we need resources like these to educate women and to remind them that, you know, they're okay. It's normal. It happens to many of us. And I didn't have this available to me when I gave birth to my first son. If I did, things would have probably gotten better for me much sooner than I feel they did. And again, my experience was short-lived, but I would still get little pangs of anxiety, even through, you know, every few months I'd start getting that queasy feeling in my stomach, like, ugh, but then I'd get over it, you know, but it was, you know, it was because I really sought my mom and my husband, and I told everybody this is what's happening, and I did have like a supportive group, but because I was vocal about it. Now, I think that sometimes women may not be as vocal about issues that they're going through mentally, so a program like this where you have someone to come to your house, ask you questions, sort of scope out the situation. I know Pilar came over one day, I said, Pilar, I'm sorry the house is so messy. She's like, I'm glad it's messy. That's how it's supposed to be. Because if you're too busy cleaning, who knows what's going on in your mind, or you're, you know, that's the OCD thing that can happen sometimes, you know? So someone that can come and scope out the situation and just offer support, ask you a few questions, and then be able to help you, even if you don't want to admit to what you're going through, it's like a first step to getting better, I think. And I think that's what this program is so valuable. I don't think that they've given, you know, women with postpartum issues enough support, even nationally, you know. And so I think that starting with something as simple as this in your own town, in a hospital where they're able to send someone to your house, it's like, wow. You know, I was willing to pay for someone to help me with therapy and to help me just make sure that I was okay. So to have something like this is just such a great thing for moms.
I know we talked also about self-care and you giving your body a chance to heal. Remember when I came for the 2 months and we had conversations even around, you know, sex and when to start back and all those different things.
Right.
Did you feel that the information that was given was helpful to you?
It was very helpful. Now, I wish I would have had that information 2 weeks prior. Why? Because when I went to my 6-week follow-up with my OBGYN, he recommended that I was okay to resume all activity, physical, sexual, you know, workouts, running. You know, one thing that Pilar taught me and was explaining to me is that sometimes, you know, these recommendations may not be necessarily suitable to new moms who are nursing, especially in breastfeeding. Because I did when my husband and I resumed our intimacy, it was a very painful experience for me. It was very painful, and it might have been a little too soon. just all this knowledge that, you get from this program and stuff. So I thank you for that. And it all made sense, having you guys come over to the house, okay, and say I was a mom that was a little more introverted and I didn't want to just really open up. I know that if the situation arose where I was starting to have a really hard time holding whatever's going through my mind emotionally, there's a number to call and a person who will come to your house, who's come to your house that you can actually relate to and just open up to. And I think that's just really good. Like, again, I know there's moms that will probably not voice what they're going through, and sometimes terrible things happen because of that. But just having you guys here and having this program available, oh gosh, it is one of those programs that you just wish just keeps increasing, keeps growing, keeps bringing more awareness, and just never goes away. I mean, I don't know if it's grant funded, but geez, this is one of those that needs to keep going.
But in general, we are a team, right? You had myself in the hospital, you had Maria come, and Pilar. And my question is, if you could think of one particular visit that was the most important visit out of the 4 visits that you received. Was there any particular, or would you say as a whole? It was
well, I have to say as a whole, because every visit has had its true genuine benefits. The first visit was just like my jump start. It was like, okay, I'm okay, I can do this. If breastfeeding was an issue, the nurse was there to help me get through it, to weigh the baby. I think he needs a little break.
Aww. Oh, there. Those eyes. Gorgeous
Little
eyes.
Toby.
So what were you saying?
Oh, so what I was saying is, I think each visit has its set of benefits, has, its own little unique surprise to you. But the first one was like it was like that push that I needed to have confidence in myself to keep breastfeeding, to know that you guys would be coming back in case I needed it, and to make sure that the baby was okay. She asked me questions about me, and it was a visit where you establish, a connection with you guys and know that you're there and that you'll be coming back in case things don't go well. Okay, so that's why I thought the first visit was very unique. The second visit was great because it's just like, now you've started your routine as a new mom, or as a mom for a second time with a new baby, and now you have like other questions or other new concerns that have come up since the first visit. And so now you have Pilar who comes in and says, okay, this is what we need to do, this is what's going to help you, offers advice. I mean, we shared laughs. It was just like we connected from the minute she got there. It was great,
I know. I think your husband said you all act like you're old buddies or something. He's like, did you know her before?
My husband, he was usually staying at the house with me and not leaving. And then that day when Pilar was there, he's like, I'm going to be back. I'm going to go shop for a little while. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I'm going to go pick up Benny and I'm going to shop. He was like, see you later, you're fine.
So, and it's funny because every time like something comes up with the baby and I have a question, he was like, well, did you ask Pilar? Did you, he'll say, so it's nice, that it's very helpful. And then the third visit is good because now we're advancing, the baby's growing, and now there's other things to be aware of, safety around the house, plants, growth and development, all this stuff has been very helpful and good to know. All the information that you bring, charts, my rights as a mom and as a mom who's decided to breastfeed. I love when you told me, pretty much the only place you can't just, bring out your breast to breastfeed is at someone else's house. But other than, because it's, but other than that, you are free to breastfeed whenever you would like, and it's just good to hear it, because even though I may have read that before and I may know that, I'm not crazy. Like it's okay to breastfeed, you know. So that was really good, and it's been great,
And did you think, we talked a little bit about the growth spurts that the baby was having. Did you think that was helpful? I know at the 2 to 4 weeks we talked a lot about
So
growth
you
spurts.
came, so Pilar came when my son was going through a growth spurt, and I just didn't understand what was happening. I knew he wasn't sick because he wasn't showing symptoms like a fever, and he wasn't like throwing up all day or anything like that. He was just very fussy and crying so much and pretty much cluster feeding.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, I started questioning: is my milk supply, stopping? Am I having like a problem? Did something happen to me where I'm not giving him enough to eat? And Pilar was like, "You're okay. It's a growth spurt." And then she explained growth spurts when they happen, and I sort of kept that in mind because sure enough, when he got to the 9-week mark, it happened again, or the 8 weeks,
6 weeks.
Right,
Yeah.
and so right on point, as she had mentioned, and that was helpful too. It's helpful because you start getting frustrated, and you're like, "What am I doing? Is this baby going to be okay?" And then comes like a wise mom who's been there and done that, and who helps moms and says, "You're fine. It happens. It's normal. You're good. Let's keep moving."
Yes.
I would say to new moms, this is a program that will pretty much, if you allow it to come to you and help you, can really help you learn, and can really help you feel a connection with somebody who knows what you're going through and who can help you and find ways to help you if you need it. To experienced moms, I mean, just based on the second time around, you can never get, you'll never know everything, and every experience will be different. So sometimes just having someone to remind you of something that you may have already known because you have other kids, but in that moment and in that frustration and stress, you just need a reminder. You need someone to kind of tap your shoulder and say, "You're doing great," And I think that that's why this program is good. It's good for encouragement. It's good for, just motivation. And I encourage all moms to take advantage of it. If it's available in their hospitals, there's no reason why you say to a nurse, "No, you can't come over and check on me." I mean, I think it's a great thing.